The following program is a Town of Colonie television production of the William K. Sanford Town Library.
Welcome to An Open Door on the Arts. My name is Barbara Richer, and I will be your host as we travel the Capital Region looking for the amazing artists that so enrich our lives. I didn't have to travel too very far to find our guest today, but he certainly does enrich our lives in many, many ways. He is our own hometown comedian and so much more. This gentleman was born and raised. I'm going to give you some clues, see if you can guess who I'm talking about. This gentleman was born and raised in Loudonville. He went to school in Colonie, attended Hudson Valley, and SUNY Albany. In 2001, he began his stand-up comedian career. I bet some of you are beginning to know who I'm talking about. Now he's performing from New York City to Los Angeles. He's an award-winning comedian actor. And I read somewhere that he believes laughter facilitates a state of peace in the body. I'm so excited to introduce Greg Aidala to our program.
How are you?
Good morning.
Thanks so much for having me.
I wonder if anybody guessed who it was.
Probably not.
Oh, I don't know. I think they were absolutely new. That was a dead giveaway, born and raised in Loudonville.
I don't know.
So I have some things written down here that I could jump right into and tell
absolutely.
people about you.
Let's get to this, Barbara. Let's have some fun.
But, and you may want to start before Brouhaha, but I know that Brouhaha is a very big, the Brouhaha Comedy Showcase.
Yes.
And you are the founder and producer and everything of it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Start where you'd like and tell us a little bit what you've been doing since you were born and raised in Loudonville.
Well, after college, worked for family business, which is Quail Auto Sales, which my family owns, which is 73 years old this year in Albany.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, and it's all been family. It was a great experience and very loving and supportive family to let me go off into my own career. And I started in 2001, and 2 years into it, I knew some friends that in the Albany area down on Lark Street, and that was a lot of fun. They were managers of these 50 to 70 seat clubs.
Oh, yes.
And I had met a couple professionals on the road, and I said, Albany's really missing something, I feel, artistically and creatively. So
that whole area of Lark Street has always been like a hot burner for new and exciting kind
at that
things.
time it really was like where I'm at in life for my age group. That the late 90s, early 2000s were really good. They were really fun, and it was like the village in the city, like Greenwich Village in the city. And so I approached my friends and the business owners and said, I'd like to produce comedy shows here, and I had everything typed out, and this is what it would entail, this is what you would make, and this, that, and projected earnings, and this, that. Well, they started selling out.
Oh, wonderful.
So I started doing 2 a night, and then I was going out to the West Coast, Los Angeles and California, and kept looking back to Albany.
And at that time, though, it's just you alone,
just me.
Single, standing on the stage.
Correct.
Stand-up comedian.
That's right, just doing stand-up. Yes.
I must ask you just quickly.
Sure.
Were you a comic when you were a kid? You said the family kind of let you go away from Quail Auto, but were you always the family comedian?
My family is very funny. It was always rooted in comedy. I'll give you the genesis of that was this. So I'm one of 8 children, Italian, Irish, Catholic. So it's just, right, it's going to ensue.
Made for
go
comedy.
Under its own volition. That's right? So my mother unfortunately succumbed to breast cancer in 1981, and at the age of 43, my parents were both 43, and left my father with 8 kids, and my father never remarried, raised us all, ran the business. And so it was rooted, and he pulled us together, and he said, we'll get through this with love, teamwork, and humor. And it
nice.
was a relief, but I didn't even understand that relief until I got older and looked back at
Absolutely.
that. So Sundays consisted of, and I'll get back to this, Sundays consisted of, we'd wake up, my father cooked breakfast, we went to church, then he cooked breakfast, then we went to my grandmother's house, my father's mother, every Sunday, till we were 18,
Wow.
for, lunch and dinner and homework and come back at dinner time. And she had a new joke every week.
Oh, bless her heart.
So it was really great to be around that energy and to experience that at a young age. So I always wanted to be that. Personally, I was more of an introvert. I was a quiet kid. Excuse me, I'm sorry about that. I was. I just like to take things in. I still write. I journalize. I'm even a published poet. I still, I'd written a lot of that stuff growing up, and
they say that about folks of art and comedy, that they're often introverted and have a very deep side also to them.
Yeah, and the true comedians that I've met, and they are, and they found a balance, and that's all I want out of life, is just to find an equal balance with things, and I need that break. I love to be around the energy and the people.
Yes.
I do. I really do. I'm fortunate.
How to recharge.
Yes, exactly. And I'm thankful to be able to do that, to get right into it and then be able to come back a little bit. So I am very thankful for that. And when my mother had passed, and as everyone goes through trials and tribulations in life, we all have them, that my family, we would just love comedy movies, and we listen to comedy albums, and we were like, well, let's just laugh and get through this and accept and learn, as hard as it is, to keep moving. And I'm forever in debt for comedy and anything funny.
It's a gift.
It is, and I'm thankful. But I knew I didn't want it to be about me. And I got introduced to the New York City scene 13 years ago, and I really wanted to showcase the talent of my friends from all over the country that were really doing these great things, and we all had our sights on the same goal, while being good people. And so...
Wait, we left you leaving Lark Street, going
correct.
to LA.
I'm still there, and then I'm coming back right here. So I'm doing the shows on Lark Street, and there was a gentleman, your folks may know this, on 1300 Talk Radio named Dan Lynch, and he had a radio program like 3 to 7 in the afternoons. Well, he was talking about how comedy isn't the same as it was for him growing up. And I think it was just around the time like Buddy Hackett's passing.
Oh.
So I had emailed him, and I said, I'm in accordance with what you just said. This is who I am. This is what I'm trying to do around Albany, to give another form of entertainment to young adults, to do something other than just drink in Albany.
Yes.
As we all know, it's just full of bars.
There's a lot of places to do that.
Big Irish, area. So I wanted that alternative, because I'm not myself into just doing that. I wanted, people to think while they're out and have fun. So I wrote him a letter, and he got back to me in an email and said, why don't you come in sometime? I'd love to talk to you more.
Oh,
I've never done radio. He gives me an hour to talk with him. I'm like, oh boy, right? And I was like, oh. So he was very great to me, and he, we went through and we took a couple calls that knew my family. While the next day I got a call from local Budweiser company, and they wanted to sit down and possibly sponsor me. So I sat down with them, met with them. They liked what I was doing, everything jived. They went on to sponsor me for 5.5 years.
Oh my gosh.
So they really helped me out with, they took care of all my flyers and posters, any of that, those, the names escape me whenever I want to try to...
Publicity, production,
yeah, the material, the promo
production
material.
pieces,
Yes,
right.
correct, thank you. All of that. And so what I had done was, my friend just opened a club called the Lark Tavern.
Oh, of course.
Tess.
Of course.
Yeah, she's great. Old
Still
friend.
there.
Yes, but that burned.
Oh, yes.
See, in
The old
2010.
one did.
So
Right.
she owned it when she bought it, and she said, I want you to do shows at my place. The first thing she did was build a stage.
Nice.
So I said, I don't have the idea yet. I was in New York City in the fall of 2004, and I turned a corner in this new club, and the idea hit me. I came home, sat with her and Budweiser, and I said, this is what I'd like. I want to start a monthly showcase in Albany. We'll do it once a month. Let's see how a year goes, and we'll take it that way. Well, I kicked it off in January 2006 with my good friend Jesse Joyce from Last Comic Standing and Comedy Central, and they started selling out in the whole year. Well, we renegotiated after the first year, and now it's 10 years later. I'm still producing and hosting this show at various venues, with the Egg and
oh, how how great.
benefits and charities. Yeah, so I'm
Great.
very thankful to be able to
Now,
tour.
does this show also go down to the city, or is
It
this?
has. It's
oh,
been-
it is.
yes, it's
okay,
been-
so you're really taking it around.
I have, yes.
Okay,
It's been
good.
featured in New York City as well, yes.
Oh, how
Yeah.
wonderful! How wonderful! Yeah, I have that it was launched then, and
Yeah,
then
it's-
and
yeah,
then
and I'm
you're-
having a big 10-year anniversary party. We'll get into that later. This in October for that,
For
which is
10
going to be open to the public, which I'm giving back a big block party.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we'll do a show about it.
Oh, sweet.
Okay, that'll be good. I do have too that Laughspin magazine
Laughspin, yes.
recognized Brouhaha as.
They did as one of the longest continually run showcases in the United States. Yeah, there's been
That's
over
amazing.
13,000 people that have come out to see it.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
How
thank
wonderful
you.
is that?
It's very nice. I'm very thankful, and I don't take it for granted.
Now, do you do this solo, or do you bring
No,
in
so what I do is,
comedians?
right, thank you, I should explain that. So what I do is, to go back to, I never set out to be, it was more than just me. I'm aware of that in life. So I host it, I do about 15 to 20 minutes up front, and then I bring 2 to 3 other comedians, headliners
Oh,
with me.
great.
So it's a 90-minute total show.
Oh, great.
And I love it. I absolutely love it. I have 4 sponsors, 4 other sponsors and family and friends that sponsor the showcase. And I love bringing it into all different venues and circulating it around, even the Capital District, which
Yes.
I have some,
Do you think
shows
you'll come
coming up.
back to Lark Tavern for?
No. For the anniversary?
Yeah.
Well, I did circle it around to this because my friend Tess, unfortunately, that Lark Tavern, I ran it there for 4.5 years, but it burned in 2010.
Yes.
She bought McGeary's in Albany.
Oh,
redid
okay.
it across from the Palace
Yes.
Theater.
Yes.
So I wanted to bring everything back to where it all began. So we're doing out in front of her place on Pearl Street by Cap Rep and Palace. You can 10 off and block
Yes.
party it.
Yes.
So I said,
That's where that will be.
Yeah, I bring it right back to her. The party's there, and I'm having 2 of my favorite bands that used to play with me after the shows.
Oh, grand.
Oh, we used to do rock and comedy shows.
Oh,
it was fun.
grand.
So they're playing. I'll be playing music with them as well.
Okay. Now, how far in advance is this?
That's
This is-
that's October 22nd.
Okay.
October 22nd,
All right.
McGeary's.
No.
Yeah. So there's plenty of time for your.
Okay.
If your fans and
Yes.
viewers can come out.
Can come out and do that.
Yeah,
That
it'd be
sounds
great.
like great fun.
Thank you, yeah.
That's excellent. So
Yes.
now we have you coming and doing a whole anniversary show of
Yes.
this wonderful career and everything. I know that something else wonderful happened to you in the year 2014. Does that did a lot of wonderful things? This has to do with someplace in New York that inducted you.
Oh yes, thank you. Yeah, in 2014, I was inducted into the Friars Club in New York City, and I'm very thankful and honored to be part of that club.
That's
it was
wonderful.
And I took the first person I called after because you have to meet with them twice and then an interview, and the first person after the interview was with Alan Zweibel, who was a big writer on Saturday Night Live, and with Larry David on Curb Your Enthusiasm, and he interviewed me, and I almost cried. Like after I called my dad, I said, he said, there's a really good shot because they like my entrepreneurial skills with the showcase.
Nice.
And then I got a letter about 2.5, 3 weeks later that was the acceptance letter, and then I got a call. And I took my dad to the induction, and it's been great. I mean, what a great historic place for entertainment and, to be part of this league
Yes.
that I'm,
Yes.
that I'm thankful for.
That's a wonderful
network.
recognition.
Yes,
That's a
it's
wonderful
nice. And the
recognition.
past 2 seasons, I've played on the softball team.
Oh.
And in New York City, we play in Central Park, and we just got knocked out of the playoffs last week. So almost next
Oh well,
year.
oh well, there is next year.
There is. But
Yeah.
yeah, thanks for bringing that up because I am excited
you
to be part
should
of
be
that.
proud of that.
Thank
That's
you.
Very nice. That's a hometown boy making real good.
I try.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We know that. We know that. So you're at this point now. I know that you actually have formed your own company.
I have. I
Tell us a little
formed
bit about that.
in 2005. I formed Radio Gauge Entertainment. When I was in the West Coast and I was playing shows. I was actually in Houston and then the Queen Mary, out in Long Beach, California.
Oh, okay.
And I kept looking back to Albany scene. I just think it's very underrepresented, and what else I can do. And I asked my father. I said, growing up in a family business, it's in your DNA. It's what you see. And so I always had that entrepreneurial aspiration. So he said, start it in Albany, form it here, build on what you've built, build on the years that the family business has been here, and your sponsors. And I did, and I wanted more, corporate work to put the stamp down, saying, no, I'm serious about what this is. It's going to be fun, but it's show business.
Of course.
So
Of
we can have
course.
fun and keep it organized that way. And so that's been 11 years that with my entertainment company as well.
Radial Gauge.
Entertainment, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what kind of bookings and things do you do through Radial Gauge?
Well, I book the showcase through that. I do a lot of private and corporate shows. We do fundraisers. In the Albany area, we did Shaker Loudonville Fire Department for 7 years. This year, 2016, will be the 8th year we do a fundraiser for the Altamont Fire Department.
Oh, really?
It's a great big comedy show. They get over 200 people a show. All the shows locally get over 200 people. It's really great to see these people come out.
Yes, it would be.
In packs and,
Yes, it would be.
great support. And elk lodges, police departments, anything of that nature where, I do a lot of, as especially for American Cancer Society, which I do have a couple coming up this fall. And in fact, my big 10-year anniversary party is in the month of October, and I like to do something for breast cancer. So what I'm doing is it's a donation at that block party, and everything's going to go for American Cancer Society breast cancer for my mother and sister-in-law.
That
in
is
memory.
Amazing.
Yeah, so I decided to tie it all in. And
now this block party, is this through this is not
No,
through-
that's the October 22nd show.
October
Yeah, yeah.
22nd. So the proceeds from that October 22nd show go towards
right,
in your mother and
yes, to look, to end breast cancer.
to end breast cancer.
Yeah, then,
Which
absolutely.
organization?
That'll go through, American Cancer Society.
American Cancer Society,
I like
okay.
I like giving to individual groups, which we have set up, because I like to know exactly where it's going.
Right.
Especially there's a really good one locally. I've done stuff in New York City and brought home for like Relay for Life.
Yes.
So there's good programs, or I'll divvy it up, as long as I know where it's going. That's what I like. I don't like to just give it away. I just find that it's
There's
something.
There's so many
Right.
illness-based programs and not-for-profit organizations in this whole area. I would
sure.
think that you would be inundated.
I do. I've done work with Cancer Society, Make-A-Wish. I'm involved heavily, in Make-A-Wish, and that's a fantastic program. The Make-A-Wish Northeast New York
Yes, it
is really
I'm
fantastic.
familiar with that program, yeah.
Another one locally and in New York City too, because I've been to events in New York City with them, is the Ronald McDonald House. Boy,
Yes.
those programs and those people, what a great organization.
Yes.
Good people behind that.
Yes.
Northeast Kidney Foundation, and all those events for
That's
people that,
wonderful.
Yeah.
That's very wonderful.
So it's
and
neat.
I want to reach out and tell
Sure.
the folks out there too that if you're involved with any of these organizations, or if you have an organization that we haven't even mentioned, at the end of this, as always, Greg's contact information will be there. So you can pick it up from there, or you can always call the library and get in touch with us through that. But your things will be there. Actually,
perfect.
we can even put a phone number down if that's all right.
Your phone number.
Okay.
We'll put your phone number.
Put our phone number down.
No, your
But
phone number, your cell
our
number.
phone number. That's not going to
No, I'm
happen.
just kidding.
That's really not happening. But we will put
we'll put an email
information,
address.
So
Sure, why
so
not?
you can contact
Yeah.
him, because it might be a very good match. To
Thank
keep
you.
people keep uplifted and happy and energized and
Sure.
laughing at the same time, as you say, giving back
Yeah.
to a community in need. That's wonderful.
Thank you. That's what we're doing in October 15th. I'm putting together a comedy fundraiser for Catholic Charities Disability Services, and they're located on Wolf Road in
Okay.
Colonie. And so we're doing that at the Town of Colonie Golf Course, and all the details are on my website. And that's a really great program and part of the community that I've been around since I was a kid.
Can you tell us, those of us who may not be absolutely connected or aware of what the work of that part of Catholic Charities is?
The Catholic Charities, they do a lot of the disability services within the work program of the area, trying to help facilitate and really give back and raise money for people that really, really need it. That some can be homebound as well, and that's hard, especially in our economy when everything keeps getting more expensive and more expensive and more expensive.
Yep.
And they've got one heck of a facility there on Wolf Road. I was blown away how big it was and how many people really come together and make this area strong, that I think should be more in the news than what we read about, and just throw some good in there once in a while.
Yes.
And I'm really looking forward to they reached out. It's a couple people that work at that facility have seen my shows before, and they really enjoyed them. And I sat with them a couple months. I was in Albany a couple months ago, and they are looking for new ways to raise money. And that's what I really like about that trust with my brand. And there's a lot of, sometimes when you do fundraising, I mean, bottom line is fundraising can be hard.
Yes.
You go back to the same well. People don't want to give anymore.
Yep.
It loses energy. With comedy, when it comes in and out, I bring the whole program in. You can make a good chunk of money up front, and it's clean, and it's good for the whole family. And it really is great for the community. It really is a lot of fun. You meet great people, and it's exciting. Every show is different. Every fundraiser is different. And that's what they want. They want to find new ways to raise money. And I love being there for them to, try to help them out doing so.
Well, you're right. I know there are so many very worthwhile not-for-profit organizations trying to raise money right now that are just very much up against it. The economy is just really, really tight and dried up. And I know Catholic Charities has a lot of fingers in a lot of very helpful pies all over. So this
really
is
do.
Wonderful. And what is wonderful, I like that you said, and I want to point that out to our audience too, that you said it's very family friendly.
My shows are not. Believe me, they can be catered. I've done shows.
Yes, I imagine.
Like corporate shows. Like they'll call and be like, well, we want it this way. Whatever you want. However, but my shows in general are clean. I always work clean.
So people can come and talk to you about fundraisers and stuff.
Absolutely.
And you're going to know how to do it to their particular audience.
Oh, sure. And I include everyone. We sit down. If it works out, great. If not, no hard feelings. And what I'll do is I'll give you, links to a few of my friends. These are my friends I use for corporate, or this might fit the show. And I'll leave it to you to choose and show your people in your office. It's got to be that way.
Right.
To me, that's clarity at the foundation. Be like, we're all on the same page.
Right. That's really important to know, that someone who offers something like you did, who's been developing it through all their now youth and their adult life, but is savvy enough to know that your audience is going to be vastly different.
Right.
If you're going to bring comedy to them.
That's right.
And it's good to know that you're not getting a packaged thing and you just take it or leave it. That you can kind of be really.
No, it's always flexible and open.
Really, that's excellent.
Yeah.
That's excellent. That's very helpful. So. You have many other things in this area, but you do go back and forth between here and New York.
I am. I'm a regular in New York City. I do a lot of work. I'm also part of a TV show called The New York City Crime Report in New York City, which films live. And the studios are right near Penn Station. I'll be back down on that show September 12th. I like, we were talking before, I do morning radio when I'm in Albany too. I just did a week last week recently I should say, because when this airs, but recently for B95, I'll give them a plug. B95.5, I did a week's worth. And I like doing that too. There's another great format and reaching people and talking with them and meeting a lot of good people, and callers. It's a lot of fun.
One of the things that we do here on this show, we've done in the past, we had a wonderful musician on, and we look at what it really takes to carve out a good life for oneself and everybody around them in the arts. Now, comedy is certainly in the arts. You're in the field, the broader field of the arts, and that how inventive sometimes a person has to be to really build a livelihood, an individual livelihood, one-person livelihood in the arts.
Thank you. But that comes with a lot of love and support, starting with my family and then my friends and people who believe in me and gave me a chance. I don't forget anybody. I taught workshops in Albany from between 2008 and 2010. I had 130 students, try to give them the mechanics. And then I had to do my own thing. I can only give so much. You've got to do other things and be in other cities where the ceiling's higher, And but the complete support and honestly, seriously, it's money. It's point blank money. It's business. It's a business. And, I was lucky enough to work for family and be able to save a little bit of money to give me, a little bit of leeway, a start. And I'm thankful for that. And it helps. I mean, it's just a fact. It's
Yes.
just a fact of
Yeah.
the business world. And there were times to where, you're paying out of your own pocket to, obviously a lot of times, it's all on my shoulders. Everything is on my shoulders. But it definitely takes, money, and I decided, I was smart with it to really look back and say, now I'm going to launch, because money, as you know, it goes
Right.
fast,
Right.
especially in our economy.
Yeah, no,
But it's love and support, and it's trust.
It's really, and taking all that love and support and then moving forward with
Yeah.
it, and really deciding that you have, beyond the ability to stand up and be incredibly funny and really reach a lot of people and pull them up and pull them out and, make them think in different ways.
Yeah.
But you can also run a business, and you can do this in New York and Los Angeles, and it's a wonderful gift to talk to artists like yourself that have been able to make their talent mean so much.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And that, it goes, forgive me. I had a banana this morning, but my stomach's growling, and I don't know.
No, we're not
Greg,
hearing
can you
it.
hear that, Greg?
I'm not hearing it.
Sometimes it started to break the fourth wall. It's funny because I've been on sets before, and they were like, well, we heard your stomach growl. And while we're on this break, let me just acknowledge
This is our library.
beautiful. I know, it's a painting of the outside of the library. Is this?
I think it's actually a photo.
It's a photo. Yeah, it
it's
is.
a blown-up
It's very
photo
nice.
of
And you got
the
keys.
Sanford Library. Right.
No
That's
cards.
right where we are, right in here, right now,
Look at
as we
that.
tape. Yep.
And I've always liked the fountain. You guys always had the fountain, even when I was growing up. The fountain was always there in the library. And you guys, digress for a moment. It's 40 years for
Yes,
your library. Good
40
for
years.
you. This
40
is
years.
great.
I know.
It's really neat.
Yeah, not quite, a little bit longer than you've been in the business, but you've
Yeah,
been in the business a long time.
little bit. Yes, yes. Sorry, I didn't mean to digress.
No, that's okay. I
I'm
love the
sorry about
digression,
it.
because that's where we actually are, in the taping room here at the library,
Yeah.
and hopefully we'll be here again to do another one as you pick up even more programming here in Albany. I'd like to promote it.
Thanks, I appreciate that. And that, speaking about the giving back and being open to the world, and it was in 2008, I was coming up, these all new opportunities came up, and I learned early on, coming from my grandmother, saying, don't say no.
Don't say no.
You just say yes.
Yeah.
You can, if you can do it, and if your health is fine, do it. Go. Yes.
And then figure out how you're going to. And you will, if it means.
Right, and trust, because at that time in my life, I had got petitioned for an audition for a commercial. I'd never been on. I take that back. In 2003, I did a quick thing for Channel 13, but it was a morning commercial. But in 2008 is when I got an agent. I landed in a TV commercial, and I picked up 2 agents, and from there, I've been in 20 commercials. I've done AT&T, and
Exactly.
And I'm very locally in the Albany area, I became the face of AAA Hudson Valley just over 2 years ago.
Looking familiar to people, that's
It
where they
could
know
be
you're
that.
from.
And one that I know, I believe it's still airing throughout the state, and big in New York City. It's wild. Is the New York State the colon cancer prevention commercial, and what I like about the reason I bring that up is because when I'm on those types of shoots, there's always representatives from the State Department there, and it's great to learn. I know it sounds about colon cancer because the shoot's about it, so you're learning all these things while you're on the shoot. So it's like this other outlet of education.
Other great advantage to being open to things.
Yes,
You are so right.
It's been neat, and I'm really thankful. If it ended tomorrow, if it did by some chance for some reason,
It won't.
I'd have not one regret.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
I've gotten the 2-minute warning about a minute
we
and a
got the
half
light.
ago. So we're doing okay. We're going to wrap it up quickly. I do want to just recap though. October 15th, Catholic Charities of Albany Disabilities Program.
Yes.
Wolf Road.
No, they're on Wolf Road.
They're on Wolf Road.
The show is at the Town of Colonie Golf Course.
Okay, the Town of Colonie Golf Course.
October 15th at
October
8 p.m.
15th at 8
All the
p.m.
information will be on my website.
Okay,
Yep.
so the Greg
Aidala.com.
Aidala.com.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. It was a pleasure.
Barbara, thank you so much
It
for your
was a
time.
pleasure.
Thanks, everyone. It was great to be back home and
And you'll
be
be
with
back.
you people.
I
And
hope
I'll be
you'll
back. Yes.
So I'm so happy that we did this interview today, and you'll all be, I hope, I'll be seeing you at the Catholic Charities fundraiser on the 15th with Greg. It'll be wonderful. Think about him with any number of wonderful things that we can teach him about, learn together, laugh over, and do good in the world. Take care. Nice seeing you. See you next time.